Eureka! You found us! Welcome to the Checkout California radio show, your key to California hospitality. Hosted by Rad Gantos, principal of Rad Gantos & Associates, a hospitality and commercial real estate design firm, and Craig Sullivan, founder and president of the California Lodging Investment Conference. Checkout California is focused on our state's hospitality, travel, and tourism markets, and on the large part they play in California's vibrant and economic diversity and unique quality of life. Now, here are your hosts, Rad Gantos and Craig Sullivan.
Good afternoon. I'm Craig Sullivan.
And I'm Rod Gantos.
And welcome to another episode of Checkout California. Hey, before we start off and I introduce our first guest, I need to make a special announcement.
A special announcement?
A special announcement.
I thought all your announcements were special.
Well, this one's more so.
Oh.
This one's actually very personal.
Okay.
Today, my granddaughter, Kayla, Grandpa loves you, turns 12. So happy birthday, Kayla.
Happy birthday, Kayla.
And I will see you soon. So again, happy birthday, Kayla. I love you. Welcome to the show, everybody. And we've got Tracy Delisle on today. She is with Certified, drew a blank, Certified Access Services. And welcome to Checkout California.
Thank you.
Do me a favor, Tracy, and would you please enlighten me and our audience on your background and your company?
Absolutely. So I have owned and operated a sign company that specialized in ADA signs for approximately 30 years.
Wow.
And during that time, we found that there were quite a few of our clients that were being sued for ADA. And one particular client was sued and put out of business. And we thought there's got to be something that they can do. And at the time, my oldest son was working with me. And he went in and looked on the internet to find out that there was a new program called CASP. Mm-hmm. And so he went and took the test, and we thought, wow, this is a great way for us to be able to give knowledge to a lot of the businesses that don't know that this program exists.
There you go.
And so that's kind of how we got started, and I'm very passionate about it now, and I don't want to see one more business get put out of business because of a suit.
Well, you know what? That's great. Is your hometown is like the mega kingdom for ADA lawsuits. They all come out of San Diego, California. It is amazing.
It's a cottage industry almost.
I don't know. I think they can be traded on Wall Street now.
It's a multinational now.
Yeah. Tracy, would you tell, two-part question, what is CASP and what's involved with the inspection and where do you go from there with that?
Sure. So a CASP is an expert in construction-related accessibility. They are licensed to go into a business, identify any findings, and create a report to help businesses with some of the benefits from the state of California. And that will help them deter some of these lawsuits that have been happening to businesses. Help bring their business also into compliance to be more accessible to the disabled.
Let me ask the following question, too, because you mentioned that how you got into this is an experience from somebody who got sued. And I'm assuming it was in relation to signage?
It was not.
What was it in relation to?
Parking.
In terms of parking. Okay. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because some people are walking around thinking, oh, I'm too small a business. Mm-hmm. This does not apply to me.
Yeah.
I'm in an old building. This does not apply to me. And here's a situation where the lawsuit had nothing to do with the interior space of the building. It had to do with inappropriate signage in the parking lot for handicap accessibility. So you may think you are not vulnerable, but you really don't know until you have somebody come in and evaluate your situation across the board.
Absolutely.
And we had a panel discussion at the Association of Hospitality Professionals recently where you were part of a panel.
Correct.
And our discussion was on ADA compliance, which on first most people go, oh, well, that's 3-foot width of door and 5-foot circle.
No.
We were talking about website compliance for ADA.
Oh.
Correct. We were. And that right now, all of these lawsuits tend to go in trends, and right now website is one of them. But you're right, exterior parking is probably the easiest for them to file on, and that's because they'll use things like Google Maps. They don't necessarily visit the property. They'll use, Google your site, And
Right.
that's what they do. And if they can see it, you can see
Do
it.
you-
Do you remember the I think it was from the audience actually, there was a share about a lady who had actually sued hotel properties
Yes.
from wherever she was at home by going online and aerial Google views of properties and saw that there was no assistance lift at the pool decks.
That's
And then
right.
Yeah.
sued because that she was not able to book at those properties because they did not have things. She never even went to the properties.
Correct.
Right.
That's
So-
right. So
Yeah.
she would just look at all of the hotels, and she
And she won.
I will say that she won because 99% of all the cases settle
right.
because it's just too costly to go to
Litigation.
litigation. So it was so lucrative that
Yeah.
she had to be stopped for a couple of years, but she's set for life, and that's why it's a problem with these serial litigators, is because it is so lucrative.
Yeah.
And
So going back to Craig's question about the CAS program and what is entailed.
Yep. So a CAS inspector would go onto a property or a business, and they would identify the findings, and they create a very detailed report. Now, that report is confidential, which is comforting for a lot of businesses because they feel like they're going to open up a can of worms. They're
Right.
gonna, then, they have to fix everything, and it's really meant to create a plan for you. And we are on the side of it. We want to go in and we want to find ways for that business to become compliant, but not necessarily have to incur a bunch of cost. That's not always the case. We can't control some of them, but we
Right.
try. And then once we have that report, they can then easily extrapolate different areas of it to give to handyman or a contractor for estimates. They also get the certificate from the state of California, which is important because the serial litigator knows what that certificate looks like
Right.
and what it is. So you post that in the window and you're hoping that they go down the street and not target you. And the reason and what they're looking for,
That's a good neighbor.
right? Yeah. So
Well, you know the old adage, right? If you and I are being chased by a bear, I don't have to outrun
Yeah.
the bear.
I just have to outrun you.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You've got it.
That's it.
But at least and we're just specifically talking about a serial litigator, they know that
Yeah.
what that means, and the $4,000 per occurrence, which is what you have to pay right now without a CAS inspection, drops to $1,000 per occurrence in a state lawsuit. So that's very important because they're really looking for the easy
Substantial,
money.
right.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Serial litigator. Now,
Isn't that crazy that we even have that
Yeah.
term in our
Yeah.
nomenclature?
that-
I'm not sure it's a real term.
You may have just made it up.
You just
Well,
made that up?
We
You-
kind of
you might want to get a copyright on that before we do.
Serial
so,
litigator.
now,
We're
are you
supposed to warn our guests on stuff like that. Come on.
She's nice. Come on.
Okay.
Now, are you talking about just the individual, or are you talking also about, say, a law firm that's the backbone of their practice?
That is the backbone of a few
Yeah.
large practices, and I feel like, and I certainly have no proof of that, that they are recruited, and because we see the same names over and over and
again.
over. And so I feel like, just based on what I see on a daily basis,
Right.
that is the case. So I don't know. I don't know what the solution to that is, and that you're not going to be able to fight a
I don't
lot
think
of
anybody
those.
does.
No,
Yeah.
there's no warding it off. I
Yeah.
mean, being smart and prudent as a business owner or a property owner, I think you go to that proactive step of making somebody come in, give you a CAS report, because again, it shields you. It doesn't necessarily eliminate the threat completely, but it shields you. And if that threat comes in, there's a financial benefit to you having done it.
Sure.
And I think you thank you for bringing up the fact that this is not a report that gets done and then filed, at the state level or whatever. This is a personal report. This is a private document that then basically you have the ability to phase some of these solutions,
Right.
come up with alternatives. But it shows intent to be proactive and not basically
Ignoring it.
because it's a discriminatory. I mean,
Right.
it's a discrimination suit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
I describe to a lot of our clients that it's kind of like you go into a boxing ring, and right now you got to hold your hands behind your back, and you're going to get punched and you're going to bleed.
Right.
If you go into this with boxing gloves, you've got at least a